public comment? What I'll do is read the questions as they were presented, and then the response. So these are, this first grouping, if you will, is 3, 6, 7 questions that were asked at our last board meeting of January 17th. And the first question was from David Pearl. Would you consider adding a video and audio system here so the meetings can be recorded and so that the audience can hear? My response was the board is always open to discussion around new ideas. Next question from Mike Dugas. Previously asked for the numbers of students accepted each year over the last 10 years to attend a school other than the school of record. Not the number actually attending each year, but the number of those accepted each year. And actually my response was that what I wrote was the administration will need to provide the numbers if available. And my question is, do we track the requests? I know we know the numbers.
No, I mean, we could go back year by year and try and dig out that information, but there isn't something I can put my hands on that says 10 years ago.
Yeah,
it would depend on the type of time and energy you want me to have my staff.
Yeah, I would say you know, at this point, you know, we've got the total numbers, and not tracking the actual requests. We could probably just do a divide by 4. It's not going to be exactly accurate, but where we're not actually tracking it, I don't think it would be something that we want to put a lot of time and effort into going into the archives for. I mean, again, we've got the total numbers, and I'll ask for, you know, further.
But Mr. Dugas is asking us the number of students accepted, not the number of students that asked us. Like, we would have no record if somebody applied to Pinkerton and got in and their parents decided for them to go to Central.
You're right. You're right. But that's the same, isn't it? I mean, we wouldn't. Do we track the number of?
No, we would have no way of knowing. I think
it would be in the minutes.
I think the intent there is.
Would you like me to clarify my intent, or? Sorry.
He's probably going to be able to
Speak
do
up.
it the way
Yeah, if you could.
If you could.
I just wanted to know how many were accepted at a school not of record each year. You can't go back. You have to go through the minutes. I mean, I don't want to know how many total students there. How many were accepted to go to a school not of record last year, the year before, or as back as if you can go back 10 years.
Yeah, we wouldn't have that.
You wouldn't have that? Okay.
No.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank you.
well, I don't want to disagree, and I know we would certainly require research to determine, because if the request going back to say 203, at the year 203, which was the first year of the contract, there were so many students going to a school not of record. At that point, sophomores, juniors, and seniors would have been authorized or approved somehow, whatever the process was prior to that, to go to those schools. And I don't know, we don't remember what the process was prior to that. So we could track it down that way. So if it was 25 for the 4 years, so I think it could be done. The question would be, is it to clarify how many we have been approving since a certain period, to determine if the numbers have jumped up as things have been saying in the paper. So
Well, the question was, and Mr. Dubus clarified it, how many have been accepted? The correct answer to that is we have no way of knowing how many are accepted, because youngsters are accepted to schools they don't go to. That's why the clarification was asked for. If it's how many went, that's a different set of research. How many were approved, it's a different set of research. And as I indicated, if it's important, it does not exist in a document. So I can't go into the files and pull something out that has that information. If you know specifically what it is we're looking for, and you want me to pull my staff to research that, we'll do it. But the clarification was how many youngsters were accepted.
Okay.
And that's what we'd be looking for. And again, we wouldn't have that information. How many youngsters, probably the only information we'd have is how many youngsters were actually approved to go somewhere else.
Okay, and I think maybe I was hearing approved, and not the word accepted, but, okay, thank you.
Yeah, we can do it. I mean,
Okay, the next question, again from Mike Dubus. Why are you using New Hampshire ED Rule 320 instead of the maintenance contract with Manchester? Response, the board is following the contractual agreement with the City of Manchester. ED 320 was utilized as a guiding document for the revision of its own policy, JCB, on the reviewing of requests to attend a school other than that of record. Next question, again by Mike Dubus. Why is a hardship necessary to do what is best for the student? The manifest educational hardship is utilized as a defining reason for granting requests for attending a school other than that of record.
Can you just speak up a little bit more, please?
Okay, I'll give it my best. Mike Dubus, again, your core values say your decisions are based on what's best for the students. Why are you not making decisions based on what's best for the Hooksett students? And the response is the board is always making its decisions based on what is best for the Hooksett School District.
What?
What?
The Hooksett what? I couldn't hear you. The Hooksett what?
The Hooksett School District.
Thank you.
The next question is from Phil Dembo. If there is any way we can see the agreements of other districts that send students to high schools outside of their district and ask them how they deal with this issue. And my response is, my assumption is that the agreements other districts have would be available for review. Of course, each contractual agreement is different and would not necessarily be a one-to-one comparison. Next question is from David Pearl. Is the Hooksett School Board willing to meet in a public forum for discussion about the high school assignment issue? The board is always open to having public forums, as it has in the past. Okay, next question is from email dated 1/18/12 from David Pearl. Were the answers provided on 1/17/12 written by a lawyer? The responses provided at the 1/17/12 meeting were neither written nor developed by an attorney. From the 1/22/12 email from David Pearl, today 1/22/12 in the Union Leader, Mr. DeFrancis and Mayor Gatzis said the following. On top of other budget constraints, DeFrancis noted there's a $300,000 shortfall in anticipated revenues, in large part because Auburn is sending fewer tuition students to city schools. Gatzis advised going back to the table with school officials from the sending districts. Maybe we start sending out ultimatums, he said. As chairman of the Hooksett School District, which is a sending district, will you contact Mayor Gatzis and ask him what he meant and what ultimatum he is talking about? Could you also make any answers public? I do not see a reason for my response. I do not see a reason for contacting the mayor's office at this time. If the mayor wishes to discuss the contract with the board, we are always willing to talk. Not knowing the nature of said discussions, I could say that if they were held in public session, then of course they would be made public.